We are continuing to hunker down in our homes and eat from our fridges, our freezers, and our pantries. I shopped my pantry and I pulled out this bag of 15 bean soup. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make 15 bean soup in a slow cooker. Keep watching. If we're just meeting, I'm Denise Jordan, and I teach traditional homemaking for today's woman. So if you want to learn more about making and keeping a home, subscribe and double tap that little bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Beans are hearty and nutritious, and they make a great meal. If you've got a family to feed or you need to stretch your grocery budget, beans can help you to do that. And beans tend to be a staple in most pantries. Whether they're canned beans or dried beans like these, you can find beans in just about every home. They're a great source of protein, so let's say you want to do a meatless meal. Well, you can do that. Serve your beans or your bean soup with a slice of cornbread, maybe some cornbread muffins, a green salad on the side, and you've got a hearty, nutritious, and a very delicious meal. And it's filling. Your family will not leave the table hungry. You can serve it over rice, or you can fold those beans up and wrap them in a tortilla. There are an infinite number of ways to cook beans, but in this video, we're making 15 bean soup. So let me get my apron on and we'll get it started. All right, so what are you going to need? Well, first off, you're going to need a bag of beans. And as I said, I'm using the Hearst Ham Beans 15 bean soup. It's got a collection of 15 different beans, and there's also a little flavor packet inside for you to use toward the end of the cooking time that's really quite good. And whereas you can make them the traditional way and soak them and then cook them on top of the stove for several hours, as I said, I'm putting these in the slow cooker, so there's no need to pre-soak. There are 15 different kinds of beans in here, and I've made this particular bean soup probably hundreds of times throughout my marriage, and my family absolutely loves it. There is a flavor packet inside that adds to the flavor. Now, I like to put a ham hock in mine, but today I'm going to add a ham hock and some leftover turkey. You can use whatever meat you like or not. If you want to make it strictly vegetarian, then don't add any meat to it. But I like to add a little meat for flavoring, so I'm going to put in one ham hock. And then we had turkey and dressing for dinner on Sunday, and we had leftover turkey on Thursday. So the rest of the turkey, I'm going to put in the bean soup. And you can use whatever meat you have, sausage, smoked sausage, or smoked turkey legs, or whatever, or not. That's totally up to you. I'm also going to add some carrots. I like the sweetness that carrots add to many dishes, so I'm going to chop them up roughly, and I'm going to add some carrot to my bean soup. Here's my ham hock and leftover turkey. I'm going to add 1 cup of onion, the juice of 1 lemon, a can of diced tomatoes, about a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of chili powder, and that's optional. You can leave it in or leave it out. I usually will add it for flavoring, but we'll see. I've got a packet of Goya seasoning that I might use instead, so we'll see about that. And then 2 cloves of garlic, in addition to 8 cups of liquid. Now, if you look at the back of the bag, the directions say to add 10 cups of water. But if you look at the Hearst website for the slow cooker 15 bean soup, it suggests adding 8 cups of liquid, be it water or broth or whatever. I'm using a combination. I'm using 4 cups of water and 4 cups of chicken stock because I'm trying to conserve my chicken stock. So 4 cups of chicken stock and 4 cups of water. I like my bean soup to be just a little bit thicker, a little bit creamier, but if you like your bean soup for the broth in your soup to be thinner, if you like it to be more soupy, then you might want to go with the 10 cups of liquid. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is get these beans rinsed and sorted, so let's do that. And I lined it with this flour sack towel because some of the beans will fall out through the openings in the colander. And then here's the flavor packet. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, now I'm going to drain these beans and put them in my slow cooker. Now I'm going to add 4 cups of homemade chicken broth. I made this chicken broth myself, so if you want to see the video where I made that, I'll link it above with an iCard so you can check that out. And I'm going to add 4 cups of water. So that's my 8 cups of liquid or stock. Now I'm going to add in my ham hock. I'm just going to nestle it right down there at the bottom. And then these turkey legs, these leftover turkey legs. Now I'll cut up my onion and my carrot and my garlic and get that added. Hang on a second. Now I'm going to add my garlic, my carrot, and my onion. I'll give this a stir. So now I'm ready to put the lid on it and set it on high for the next 5 to 7 hours. All right, so the slow cooker is set. Now let me refresh you on what we've got in here right now. The beans, of course, 8 cups of liquid, and in this instance, there's 4 cups of homemade chicken stock and 4 cups of water. If you want your soup to be more soupy, you can go with 10 cups of liquid instead of 8 cups. But for this instance, I've got in 8 cups of liquid, 4 cups of broth, and 4 cups of water. I also have in 1 ham hock and leftover turkey from a previous meal, as well as my carrots, my onion, and my garlic. That's all that's in here right now. I'm going to put my tomato and my other seasonings in later when it's almost done. If you add salt or acidic type seasonings in right now, it slows down the cooking time. So you want to add those things when the beans are about done. They're nice and soft and they can really absorb the flavor, the seasonings without any problem. So we'll add those things later. We're going to let it do its thing and I'll come back in about 5 to 7 hours and we'll see what's what. Now keep in mind that every time you lift the lid, you slow down the heating time because you let out the heat. So this is not a recipe or a dish that you need to peek at every now and then. Put it on, leave it, and forget it. You can come back in 5 hours and check it out if you must, or unless you are smelling it pretty strongly and you feel like it's scorching, then come and check it out. But you really shouldn't have that problem because you've got enough liquid in here that it should be fine. So I'll come back and see you when it's time to add the seasonings. So it's been about 6 hours, so now I'm going to add in our tomatoes, our lemon juice, and our seasoning. And it is looking pretty darn good in here. smells pretty good as well. And the nice thing about this being a 15 bean soup is that some of the beans will just kind of mush up a little bit and some of them will stay firm. So you get a nice variety, a nice mixture. The turkey legs falling off the bone. I'm going to take this ham hock out and cut it up a little bit. I'll just score some of the meat off of that. Now I've cut it up just a little bit, like that. And I'm going to put this back in the pot. My husband loves to eat the ham hock. Going to add our can of diced tomatoes. I'm going to start with just a half a teaspoon of salt, just because sometimes the ham hocks can be a little salty. So I'm going to go with a half a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to try a little bit of this Sazon Goya seasoning packet. I used it in my black eyed peas for New Year's Eve, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. So I'm going to add just a little bit of that, just about a third of a packet. And then the juice of a lemon. So I've cut my lemon in half. And I'm going to save this leftover lemon in the freezer to go with my little bag of vegetable clippings and scrapings and skins and things like that for my next batch of bone broth. All right. I want to taste this broth to see if I need to add any more salt. I think I will add a little bit more salt, and I'm going to add the rest of this Sazon packet. And there's a little flavor pack, and this simulates a ham flavor, and you can use this if you need to. Now we'll let it cook for about another 30 minutes. All right, let's give it a taste. It looks beautiful. Take a look at that. It's hot. It's got delicious flavor. The tomatoes, the garlic, the onion marry perfectly. And that Sazon seasoning packet. I like the addition that it makes. And the nice thing about the different beans is you've got the different textures of beans in here. So I'm really pleased with this. And I've got some little shreds of meat in here too. So all I need with this dish, this little corn muffin. The corn muffin is perfect for sopping up some of the juice. Now this corn muffin is from my vintage baking series. I made a 1918 vintage buttermilk cornbread muffins recipe. Delicious. So I'll be sure and link that with an iCard above and in the description box below as well. But this will certainly make a nice hearty meal for your family. They'll love it. And if you like this video, you'll also want to check out my best chicken noodle soup recipe and my hamburger vegetable soup recipe, or maybe my traditional meatloaf recipe. All of those are amazing and your family will absolutely love them. And here's the question of the day. What kind of beans do you have in your pantry and what do you make with them? There's a lot of homemakers out there that are trying to figure out what to feed their family, and sometimes the very best ideas come from right here in the TNT community. So tell us in the comment section below. And let me take this opportunity to invite you to check out the playlist for this week's episode of Quarantine Cooking at Home with Me. There are so many wonderful, wonderful recipes, different videos that the ladies of the Sister Circle have made to show you what's going on in their quarantine kitchens at home with me. And just so you know, I've raised 3 children and I've managed a home for more than 45 years. So if you want to learn more about the art and science of homemaking, subscribe. I would love to have you as a member of the TNT community. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying you are not done yet. Click on the link in the comment section below to check out this week's episode of Quarantine Cooking at Home with Me. I will see you next time.